Let's bring back Jefferies chief market strategist David Zervos. Got his microphone fixed, hopefully. David, what were you telling us as far as key question for the markets as it relates to the Fed and the economic outlook?
No, Sarah, I just wanted to point out that I don't think the market is focusing in on just, are they going to cut a 25 here and a 25 there? And is it going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 over the course of the year, depending on how inflation goes? I think the market is really focused on the fact that the Fed's battle with inflation has largely come to an end, and that we don't have this debate anymore about returning to the 70s and is Jay Powell Arthur Burns. He did his job. He acted strongly and effectively, and the supply disruptions that drove most of this inflation have worked their way through the system. And I think the Fed managed to anchor inflation expectations the way we had all hoped they would, although there were a bunch of folks who didn't want that to happen for, I don't know, a variety of reasons where they could get more money. But I think the important part is that Fed backstop is back, Sarah. And I think that's what the market's going to key off of in 2024. And that's a really, really valuable put structure to have as a backstop to the market that we did not have in 2022 and 2023.
Are we going to get a bonus backstop in the tapering or end of QT? All of a sudden, this debate has really heated up.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I noticed it in the minutes. You obviously did as well. I think they want to stop that. First of all, I think they'd like to be reinvesting some of these proceeds back at higher coupon securities. They've got a lot of low coupon securities, and as you know, the Fed has a lot of losses that are realized and certainly unrealized, something we've talked about a lot over the course of last year on this program. Those losses are politically not very pleasant. So I think the more they keep rates high and they don't replenish the balance sheet with higher coupons that they could buy as they mature is probably something they don't want to do. And I think at the end of the day, they're not really sure where this QT wall hits, and they don't want to hit it. So as long as they're not getting the inflation and as long as they're done here and maybe cutting soon, why should they still be doing QT? I think it makes no sense in the world. So I think you're going to get that bonus, and I think the market's going to key off that in a positive way as well. I'm pretty positive coming into this year, Sarah. We were positive on the high yield markets. We didn't want to make it all the way to equities last year just because we felt the Fed still had work to do. The equities did great anyway, and I think that's because inflation came down faster than most had expected, including us. But I think now you can really move into the riskier parts of the capital structure of the U.S. economy and feel like you've got a friend again, a friend in Jay Powell. He doesn't have to beat you up on this inflation stuff anymore, and that's great news.
David Zervos, thank you very much. Good to get your views, as always.